What's up guys, it's Shisui. Welcome to my channel, and today we're gonna talk about Into the Spider-Verse.
Fuck you thinking ain't doing no more favors. Never need a nigga just to make me famous. Lil nigga flow go crazy, and them other niggas can't tame it. Flame it, flame it. All of the niggas that doubt it. All y'all niggas some cowards. All y'all niggas step up and get devoured. 6 feet deep with a bouquet of flowers. Tell me what am I supposed to do? Cause respect for mine is so overdue. I'm the best in it, just pay attention, take a closer view, cause I'm supposed to do.
If you saw my first video on my channel, then you probably know how my introduction to manga came about. What you don't know is that before I got into manga 5 to 6 years ago, I was into comics. Pretty much grew up with them. Daredevil, the X-Men, Spider-Man, and even comics like Men in Black. I didn't shy away from DC as well. I wasn't the biggest fan of the multiverse, but I do enjoy some characters that fall out of Earth 616. But when those characters and storylines mesh with Earth Prime...
Well, I'm out, man. That nigga's tripping.
In any case, I just saw the new Spider-Man movie and I was very impressed. So much so that it brought back nostalgia. I plan on taking things one day at a time and dipping my toes back into the comic world, so I figured I'd start with a particular thing that intrigued me Into the Spider-Verse. The suits. Now I scourged the internet for videos I could find on the suits to share my enthusiasm with, but there wasn't really much. What I put together is a list of the suits that were displayed in Peter Parker's secret lair. I worked off 3 images, and I'm not entirely sure I got them all, but from what I can tell, these were the suits. Okay, so the first suit that I was able to see from the trailer, or as I watched the trailer, on the way left is the advanced Spidey suit. This is from the game that just came out this year in 2018, and it is probably my favorite suit of all time. I probably will get a lot of hate for this, but yeah, that includes all the way back to the classic Spider-Man suit that Steve Ditko and Stan Lee created, all the way up to this point in time. The suit was designed by Insomniac Games and Sony Interactive Entertainment. No, I really love the suit, and it's most identifiable by the large white spider, along with it's got like traditional red and blue patterning, and yeah, and it's really nice. And it's not made. It isn't spandex. It's more like this athletic wear material. But I love it. I love the way it looks. It's the suit I loved playing it in the Spider-Man game. So yeah, that's the first suit I was able to identify. Okay, so the next suit that we're going to talk about is a little harder to pinpoint, but I think it's one of the most easily identifiable suits, and it really sticks out in the trailer, or particularly in this photo, and that is the caped Spidey suit. And I thought the movie played on a very hilarious thing, when they were like, spiders don't wear suits, and it was just really funny. Anyways, so this particular suit is from What If issue number 19, and it's like, what if Spider-Man had stopped the burglar who killed his uncle? And it's like, what if Spider-Man had never become a crime fighter? Essentially, it's basically Spider-Man stops the thief and he lands in showbiz and never learning his faithful lesson. And then he dons the cape, which is what makes this costume distinct. And he becomes an enormous jerk, ultimately costing a number of major characters their lives. And I think aside from Spider-Man 2099 and Spider-Man Unlimited mantles, he never wears capes like ever. So, but in this particular movie, I thought it looked really cool, and it really stood out as Miles Morales was touching the side of the cape. But yeah, it's really cool. So the next suit that we're going to talk about in the same photo to the right of that is the stealth big time suit, and Peter built this suit himself. And basically it's really cool because it could become like invisible to light and sound depending on the color mode he was in, but this particular one, it's very identifiable by the black and green and bright neon color. And I think he used this suit to defeat the Hobgoblin and his sonic screams, and then before he passes on to like one of his clones, Kane Parker, to become the new Scarlet Spider. And this is rather complicated to explain, but and then there's like a red version of the suit, and it's all rather complicated. But anyways, yeah, the stealth suit identifiable by this is the stealth big time suit, and yeah, it was featured in in Amazing Spider-Man issue number 650 in 1999. Okay, so the next suit on the way right, people often get this confused with the anti-Ock Spider-Man suit that made its appearance this year, but it is the Mark II Spidey suit. And this first debuted in Amazing Spider-Man issue 656, where Spider-Man updates his Mark I armor and creates a new and black yellow suit. I think at the time he lost his spider sensibilities, so he sort of needed something that would like be able to reflect bullets. So this suit, it limited his mobility a lot, but it allowed him to, I think, defeat the Massacre, who had at the time taken multiple hostages. So yeah, it's pretty cool. It's probably up there as far as some of my favorite suit goes. And yeah, and I thought it was easy identifiable in being black and yellow, and yeah, it really stuck out in the trailer, so I was able to pick that up. Okay, so we're gonna zero in on this next photo, and I want to pick out a suit to the left of the classic suit. It is the Electro suit, Spidey suit, and he wore this suit when he fought alongside X-Men, against Electro. He's despite fighting Electros several times, he hasn't really worn this suit since the late 90s, mostly because he's upgraded his suit a shit ton then, but it's pretty cool. It dons that emblem in the center, as you can see. It's insulated. It's a padded suit, and yeah, it's to make sure that it was for him to be able to fight Electro. So I thought it was really cool, and I think the issue was first seen as Amazing Spider-Man issue number 425. So yeah, it's pretty cool. Okay, so this next suit in the same photo that's to the right of the classic Spider suit is the Secret War suit. Now, this is not to be confused with the Marvel Superhero Secret Wars comics from 1984. Marvel actually released another book called Secret War in 2004. And in it, Nick Fury recruits a private army of heroes, including Spider-Man, overthrow this government that Dr. Doom runs in his country. This was the costume he wore. It's pretty identifiable by the blue spider in the center. To me, it wasn't really particularly exciting. It's pretty meh to me, personal preferences aside, I guess. I think it was in Ultimate Alliance 2 and another Spider-Man game I can't think of the top of my head. But yeah, so this is the suit that, he wore. But I thought in the movie they did a pretty good job. It looked really well done. Into the Spider-Verse. I don't know, what they did, but it looks really, really good for some reason. So yeah, that's the next suit up in the lineup. Okay, so this next suit, it's in the center of the photo. It's from Amazing Fantasy issue number 15. Everybody should know it by now. It is the classic Spider-Man suit. It's the one that Steve Ditko designed. That pretty much started it all, and it's really, really cool. And I like it how in the games too, this is the suit he wears at the start before he dons the advanced suit, and yeah, it's pretty cool. You can't go wrong with this suit. So I'm pretty sure it's the reason they threw it up in there. And it's also the suit that Miles Morales takes, and then he spray paints and does his design on it, which was pretty cool. I'm not gonna take off that. The thing to also pinpoint is this particular suit also, it's kind of weird if you play the Spider games, the Silver Lining, the DLC pack that comes, the new DLC pack that comes in the games, the suit that Peter B. Parker wears, it's replicated off this original suit. It's pretty cool. There are slight differences if you pick up on them, but yeah, I thought it was cool, and I like that dotted look, and yeah, it's really cool. But those two, the classic suit and this particular suit, they go pretty much hand in hand, and I thought that was really, really cool. Okay, so this next suit, pretty much everybody has seen. It is the Iron Spider armor suit worn in issue 529. Tony gives this outfit to Peter as a new costume. It heavily resembles the Iron Man suit, but it doesn't even need to use webs because it has repulsors in the hands and feet. Peter, he would eventually ditch this suit during Civil War because Tony was using it to control him. This suit was also adapted to the famous screen during the Avengers Infinity War, and it's known for the spider legs that come out of the back. So yeah, it's kind of cool, and I recognize that too. Okay, so these next suits they were a little harder to pick out, but this is what my gut's telling me, and yeah, so the next suit that is I'm pretty sure because it's right next to the Mark II suit, is the Spider Armor Mark I suit. This is Spider-Man dons this metallic alloy suit that like slows them down, but it allows them to be like bulletproof. And the suit eventually gets like destroyed by acid, and we don't ever see it again. But it looked like at first glance, like it could be the negative zone suit or the first iteration of the Spider armor, given that it's right next to the Mark II armor in the display case. But it seems more likely to be the Mark I armor. But it's donned black in this, and so yeah, I think he created it to fight the new Enforcers, if I recall. You might have to correct me down below in the comment section. Yeah, and I saw it in the Spider-Man animated series and the I think the video game 2000. So yeah, that's pretty cool. So it's the Mark I suit, and then it's right next to the Mark II. Okay, so this next suit that's next to the caped Spidey suit in the display case is I believe is the Dusk outfit Spidey suit. It looked like the Venom symbiote suit, but this suit I think has darkened the lenses, and it doesn't have like the Spidey chest thing, a spider. In fact, it's like there's no like graphics anywhere on it, and I think this is the only suit that really matches that description. And it originates from a story where Peter Parker wasn't Spider-Man at all. I believe that is the suit. Like I said, I could be wrong. Correct me down below in the comment section if you think that's the case. Okay, so this is the last suit I was able to identify. It was so hard to see because it's like over Aunt May's shoulder in between Peter B. Parker. Anyways, I think this suit, as far as I can tell, is the Spider suit, the all red suit, and from Exiles, issue number 12. And basically in that story, like the Exiles meet up with Parker of Earth 15, and it's like a mass murderer who merged with like this spider symbiote, which seems to be like the carnage of that universe. Anyways, like this character is pretty much like Deadpool. He's like fucking hilarious. But anyways, he ultimately dies after being like burned to death. I have absolutely no idea why this costume is featured into the Spider-Verse, or the impact of what it means for Peter Parker to have a symbiote hang out in his like spider cave. But yeah, that's the last suit that I was able to identify in the display case. So yeah, so those are all the suits that I saw. Let me know in the comment section if I missed one that you saw, and also tell me what your favorite suit is. Okay guys, that's gonna do it for me today. Like and subscribe. Let me know your thoughts down in the comment section below. And as always, you can find me in the Discord, I'll link, and stay tuned for my next videos.